जग्राह भरतो रश्मि शत्रुघ्नश्छत्रमाददे लक्ष्मणो व्यजनं तस्य मूर्ध्निं सञ्जीवयंस्तदा श्वेतं च बालव्यजनं जगृते परितः स्थितः अपरं चन्द्रसङ्काशं राक्षसेन्द्रो विभीषणः. So Sumantra had come and he was having the reins of the horse, and Rama had gotten to the chariot, and Bharata came and told Sumantra, get down, I'll take the reins. So Bharata had got on and he took the reins of the horses to drive Rama back to Ayodhya. And Shatrugna was quick on the chariot and he was holding aloft the royal umbrella above Sri Rama. And Lakshmana, not to be outdone, was standing behind Rama, and in one hand he was having a whisk, and he was fanning Rama. Both hands he had whisk, so to say. One he was fanning the head, and one he was fanning the side. And on the other side of Rama, the king of Lanka, Vibhishana, he was fanning Sri Rama. And then from the sky, the melodious chants of the rishis who had assembled in the sky, the devas and the maruts and all, they were chanting the glory of Rama as the procession started. And it was the sound of drums, the recitation of the Vedas, the sound of the conches and the sound of vocal music, the melodious sounds of people praying, the sound of the thunder, the sound of the seven, the whole nature was singing, so to say, and the whole of this celebratory noise was filling the eight directions and going right up to the sky, and was mixing with the sound of the loud greetings offered to Rama from the sky by the devas. This part of the description is from Kamban. Coming back to Valmiki, Tata Shatrunjayam Nama Kunjaram Parvatopamam Aruroha Mahateja Aruroha Mahateja Sugrivo Plavage Sabha. Now, you can imagine, after 14 years of exile, Sri Rama has come. He's going to come back for the coronation. The whole world knows now, whole of Ayodhya knows that this is the greatest of occasions in their life. Once they'll see, once. It's the most beautiful of occasions. So the whole world is teeming. The entire way from where Rama is all the way to Ayodhya is full of people and all of that. There's no way, the procession is going to move. It's like, even you see the Ter in the festivals of Panguni Uttaram in Chennai, for example, in Kapaleshwara temple or Arunachaleshwara temple or elsewhere, Thiruvarur, the beautiful Ter, or anywhere else. Oh, the wonder of ours, Tamil Nadu, the beauty. The Ter festival is to be believed experience to see, right? Millions of people, and then how they pull that chariot, and the crowd will give way. Somehow it'll move 10 feet, stop, 10 feet, stop. And a normal thing which the Ter could have done in maybe in 15, 20 minutes takes 4, 5 hours, 6 hours, yeah, to do. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So imagine this, that Rama himself, Lord Sri Vishnu, Sriman Narayana's Ter is coming to Ayodhya with a procession of many chariots like the Arvati mover coming behind, and then it has to start, and there are 1,000,000 people on the way. How does one ever reach? The coronation will get over, the time Muhurtam will get over, all of that. It has to move. So somebody with administrative capability has to handle the situation. And who is that somebody? Sugriva. And what does he do? Now, you can imagine in a modern situation, it is very well possible that there's a lathi charge or something. Cops create way, and red light, this, that. Somehow people are pushed aside. No. I mean, you have to create a way, but without disturbing the celebratory mood, without creating chaos, etc., without making it only enjoyable. Sugriva knows how to do that. So he's organized. He knows what to do. So he's got all his apes now. The Vanaras, they've all taken the form of humans, human men. They've taken the form of humans, and he's organized 9,000 elephants. They're sitting on top of those elephants, and Sugriva himself is sitting on top of the biggest of them all, the what is called the Gajaraj. Gajaraj is something else. When the Gajaraj, when the leader of the elephant procession in Mysore Dashera stands with the idol with the say golden simhasana and the idol of the Lord on its back. My God, it looks so majestic. Or the leader of the elephants in Guruvayur temple, Keshavan, he's got a statue. Gajaraj. So there's a Gajaraj called Shatrunjaya. It's Tatah Shatrunjayan Nama Kunjaram Parvatopamam. It was as big as a mountain, a huge elephant. On that, Sugriva got, Sugriva, the king of the greatest of apes, he got on top of that elephant, and behind him, the other apes in 9,000 elephants, they started going boom, 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 and towards that. And we can imagine one elephant is enough, all crowd will give way. 9,000 elephants. So the royal path was pretty quickly, nicely, happily evacuated by people. They were all cooperating with each other to quickly make way. Nobody was pushing the other, saying, no, why are you pushing? Everybody was clear. Get out of the way quickly. So very nicely, they all got out of the way. And the procession was now, the reaching people were there, but they were shouting blessings on Rama from both sides, from all sides. And he was looking so beautiful. He was shining like a full moon. And what was that procession like? Right in the beginning of the procession, of course, after this 9,000 elephants and Sugriva, Shatrunjaya, etc. Then there were the drummers, the Turya drum and other drums, and there were the cymbals and all of that, and the swastikas, and people, the singers of auspicious songs. The singers of auspicious songs, the drummers, etc., were the first ones to march in front. So that set marched in front, and then behind them came the Brahmanas, the twice born. They were carrying akshade, saffron-colored rice, auspicious articles in their hands, and they were walking, chanting the Vedas. And then there were the cows. There was a procession of cows with the bells, ting, 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 ting. They were next, and then there was a procession of kanyas, young girls, all beautifully dressed and very, very happy and skipping, etc. Procession of them. They were going next, and then there was a set of other people who were carrying modakas in their hands. Modakas in their hands. They also went, and then Rama was coming in his chariot, and there was his brothers were there. There were his ministers, and Rama was gently chatting with the ministers of Ayodhya. He was telling them about, how Hanuman had the valor of Hanuman during the war, etc. The valor of the son of Vayu. How the apes how they performed in the war, etc. And what the Rakshasas are like, what Vibhishana is like, etc. He's chatting, he's telling them, and the residents of my ministers are all thrilled to hear all this directly from Sri Rama. And he entered slowly. The procession entered Ayodhya. The citizens, they hoisted flags. Every house had a flag on top. Every house. And then Rama directly went into that Ayodhya, and he went directly to the palace of his father, Dasharatha. He went to that palace, and there he went straight. His mothers were there, Kausalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra. He went straight to them and he prostrated to Kausalya and then to Sumitra and Kaikeyi, and they were all filled with joy. And then Rama spoke to Bharata, who was with him, and he told him very pleasing words. Valmiki says, those pleasing words grounded in policy and principle. He told Bharata, Tachamat bhavanam shreshtham sashokamanigam mahat mukta vaidurya sankirnam sugrivasya nivedaya. All right. So, he said, what about his own palace? He said, my palace, Mat Bhavanam Sreshtham, the supreme palace of mine, which is Sashoka Manikam, which is adorned by a Ashoka Vatika. Imagine Rama's palace is a Ashoka Vanikam. I mean, we are only joining the dots here. There's a dot Valmiki is put here. There was a dot in Lanka when Sita was in exile. It was in Ashoka Vanika. Imagine that. And I leave it to you to think about that. Rama's palace had that. So he said, my beautiful palace, which has the Ashoka Vanika, and which is adorned, encrusted with pearl and lapis lazuli and all the best of brilliance. That one, please allot to Sugriva. Please offer it to him. So Rama is not going to stay in his palace. Looks like he's going to stay in his father's palace along with his mother's, perhaps. And his own palace, he said, make it over to Sugriva. To Bharata, he tells him. As soon as he told him, Bharata, he just went and took Sugriva by his hand and said, come, I'll take you there. So he took him to Rama's palace. And when he took him to Rama's palace, Tatastaila Pradiptanscha Paryankastaranani cha grihitva vivishu kshipram Shatrughnena prachodita. Meanwhile, Shatrugna had immediately got into action. The king of Kishkinda had to be best of things had to be allotted to him. So immediately, this palace had not been used. Meaning to say, it was there, maintained and all that, but not lived in by the kings, right? So far. So immediately, he had organized the retainers, his people had come immediately, run in all haste, and they were carrying lighted lamps, etc., to put it in place, etc. Must have been evening, what, I don't know. They were carrying all that, and they were carrying new, fresh bedspreads, fresh couches, all of that. Quickly, one process had been set into place, and things were moving. Even earlier, when Rama had landed itself, the process had started. It is administrative brilliance. Shatrugna has moved, he's got his people moving. The palace, by the time Sugriva enters it, all the oil lamps would have been lit, it would be beautifully burning. I mean, you must see those palaces of even today, if we go to Rajasthan and go to any of those palaces, Sheesh Mahal, Diwan-e-Khas, all those rooms will be there, which will have small concave mirrors, thousands and thousands of them. And some lamps will be lit and they'll just glitter, the whole place is glitter. Imagine, I don't know, I tried to, I don't know whether they do it, they probably must be doing it even now, during some sound and light shows, I'm not sure, probably they do, I didn't attend that in that palace. But it would be so beautiful to see that, those places with all those lamps lit. Now, we do see, for example, the beautiful temples of Kerala. The Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple, for example, the other temples of Kerala, when Lakshadweepam is lit, thousands and thousands and thousands of lamps are lit all over the Gopuram, all over this thing. It's so beautiful to see in the evening and in the night at that time. So, like that, it is a celebratory time. Pattabhishekam is going to happen. Sugriva's palace, the Rama's palace is allotted to Sugriva. That palace has to be at its brightest and beautiful best. And Shatrugna's people have moved and they have brought everything. The great best of comfort should be there for Sugriva, etc. Now, this all is in, we are from Valmiki. We move a bit to Kamban. Rama had also asked Bharata to show Vibhishana and Sugriva and other Vanras the great palace of Ayodhya. Apparently, there is another palace of Ayodhya, maybe, which is the king's not the staying, not the residence, but the official palace where official matters are transacted, etc. So that palace was there, and they said, please show it to them. So that palace, Bharata took them all. They crossed many halls, and then he took them to the central hall, which is known as the Hall of the Supreme, which resembled the Meru, the beautiful Meru mountain. Fascinating hall. I mentioned Diwan-e-Khas. The description of Diwan-e-Khas in the Red Fort in Delhi, or else any of the palaces where the private audience of the king would be there. That was supposed to be one of the most beautiful places in Red Fort, and it had that inscription in Persian that if there is a heaven in the world, it is here, it is here, it is here. Right. So the whole wall was encrusted with silver and gold and jewels and this and that, and the king would sit, I don't know, he would sit probably in peacock throne there at the time, which the peacock throne is something from which hung that Kohinoor diamond, which now adorns that Kohinoor. Mythologically, it is linked to the Shamantaka wind. Be that as it may, coming back here, the beautiful hall of Ayodhya. I mean, forget all these Diwane Khas and all that. Imagine how the central hall of Ayodhya would have been impossible to understand. So beautiful, a million times more beautiful than whatever we can imagine now. That's what it was like. Diamonds, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, glittered, beautifully set inside the hall. These are all made to create different moods during different times and different seasons. This is this is this is skill and knowledge par excellence. We cannot even sit down and imagine it nowadays. It's impossible. But it will it will look different in different times of the day. It will shine differently. Lights will be different. Everything will be different. During rainy season, it will be a different mood. That kind of hall, the hall of the Supreme. It was so staggering to look at. So mind arresting was a beauty that even Vibhishana says, Kamban was stunned, he was dazed. Vibhishana, why even Vibhishana? Because Vibhishana comes from Lanka. And Lanka, Ravana, it was the most beautiful place in the world. There was nothing in Lanka that was not the best of the best. And here, Rama probably had that in mind, so he had told, show them this room, show them that palace. So Bharata had understood, he had taken them to that room, he had showed them that room, and Vibhishana was so dumbstruck, he gently asked Bharata, tell me about this place. Where from did this come? So Bharata had told him that, no, you see, our forefather Ikshwaku was there. He was a great tapasvi. And pleased with this tapasya, Brahma himself had gifted this to him.